Hey, 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 welcome back to the Vault of Cult. I'm Chris.
And I'm Mark, you alright?
Yeah, I hope you're alright. Welcome back, guys. On this week's episode, we will be discussing...
Pretty Woman.
Wow, Pretty Woman. One for the ladies.
It is one for the ladies.
What an interesting film.
It is a very interesting film. You know, the ladies, well, let's not beat around the bush. They love it. They absolutely love it, mate.
Absolutely.
Some of them a bit militant about the fact that they
Very
love it,
much.
but
Defend that shit.
they will, mate. They'll cut your cock off.
Yeah, I do not want
You
that.
know what I mean?
Nobody wants that.
Just
Don't argue with it.
don't argue with it.
But we'll discuss it.
We'll discuss it now.
Yes, let's.
So, enjoy.
Oh well, we hope you enjoy, guys. Right, so my personal history with this film is I think the first time I watched it was my nan had it on VHS. Distinctly remember the front cover, the white front cover with him and her stood back to back.
Yeah, she's holding his time.
Yeah, so
it's quite a good little picture.
I think it's quite an iconic one-sheet poster.
Say so. Yeah, I'd say so. Cute.
Cute,
as well.
yeah, well,
it's cute.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, cute
cute.
poster.
Yeah, so, as I said, my earliest memories of watching this film was probably around 92, 93, like 9, 10 years old. And definitely my nan had it on video and she had it on all the time, loved it. What about you?
I don't know exact dates, but this is just one of those films where if it came on telly or whatever, it ended up on, like
Okay.
my mum's just thought, yeah, Pretty Woman's on, go on and watch Pretty Woman, and I'd be doing whatever, maybe like playing on summer or
Game Boy.
Yeah, or reading summer
History
or
books.
always history books, all books about dinosaurs.
Brilliant.
You know, I'd be doing whatever, and I did just find myself watching it. So I don't know how old I was.
Okay.
Probably about 10 or something like that. You know, it's just been on.
Right, alright, fair
You know.
enough. Well, yeah.
It's just been on. So yeah, my personal history of it is just it were on moderately a lot.
On TV,
yeah, and it were on telly a lot. I mean, no one watches telly anymore.
No.
Telly's,
Yeah.
you stream everything.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah, there was a time, listeners, when people just used to watch it because it was on.
Yeah,
Weird,
ITV
isn't
Move
it?
on a Thursday night.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Oh, I'll watch that. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, people planned what they watched because
Yeah.
if you missed it,
Oh, Pretty Woman's on tonight.
Yeah,
Come on,
because-
get the kettle on, it's time.
because if you missed it, you missed it.
That's it.
Unless you're gonna buy it, unless you go and buy it, yeah, tape it.
VHS
put it on.
taping it, yeah, tape it.
You know what I mean? I bet you're most
Long play fit for 3 films.
I bet you most people's personal history is that it's on a long fucking play.
Long
VHS
player,
somewhere
yeah.
with Pretty Woman.
Well, then library cases
Yeah,
as well.
exactly. Pretty Woman.
Like books.
Pretty Woman's in that one, I think.
Yeah.
Because it had been labelled properly. Because you've taped over a few things, so it's had about 8 things on it.
Starts off
there's
with a bill and then goes
so
into
there's
Pretty
quite
Woman.
a few things where you're like, could be Pretty Woman, could be Beauty and the Beast, could be a bit of hardcore pornography.
Yeah,
Who
maybe,
knows?
possibly.
You know what I mean? Pretty Woman. You know.
So yeah, guys, we're here to talk about Pretty Woman. But before we do that, beverage for the show.
Quick beverage for the show.
So-
nothing too fancy.
Nothing
this week.
fancy today.
Just nice Peroni.
Just
This is
nice. Today's beverage, as Mark
You
said,
know,
it's
by
Peroni.
recommendation of no one, because we
Us?
forgot to ask. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't forget to ask. We just didn't ask.
Yeah, we just didn't ask.
But we will be asking.
Yeah,
so
we
maybe,
will.
possibly. Can't guarantee it, guys.
So anyway, yeah, just a few quick fun facts about the film. 1990, it came out.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah.
March 23rd, actually, 1990.
Yeah, so I was not even nowhere near one in March, several months ago. So yeah,
Budget.
yeah, budget is it had 14 million and it made overall 463.4 million, which is a lot of money. Now that's US domestic and worldwide.
Yeah. So that's a big hit. That's a massive hit.
Number one for. God, it would have been good if I'd have remembered the time for how long, but a long while.
Yeah. It was like the highest grossing.
Yeah, and literally it practically started there, number one for for on its opening weekend. The thing that people were going to see.
Yeah, but that is on that budget and making that money worldwide. That is a mega hit. Bankable star, then straight away Julia Roberts.
Bankable star.
Not getting ahead of myself.
You know what I mean?
Bankable
we'll
star.
come on to Julia Roberts. Like, lot to say about Julia Roberts.
Indeed.
But yeah, 178 million domestic, 285 million worldwide.
Massive.
Make that, massive hit.
Massive.
Stonking hit, the bossed it, basically.
And directed by a very interesting director called Gary Marshall, who was involved with a lot of comedies from like the 60s and 70s.
All those old comedies.
Happy Days, which is a big thing, you know. I Love Lucy, which is a famous thing.
It's in the film. The episode of the thing we're watching is an episode of I Love Lucy. Because if you're going to reference anything, reference yourself.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Why
Don't like modesty.
And Beaches.
Yeah. Well, I've very much thought about him when I looked it up. Chick flick director. No shade, like like a chick flick, but it's chick flick director. Beaches. He did Runaway Bride with the same two later.
Persuado sequel.
Yeah. And Princess Diaries.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Which is like you say, another chick flick. And what's interesting is it's written by a guy called J.F. Lawson. Now, this guy wrote Pretty Woman, or the original version, which we'll get onto in a minute.
Yeah.
And he's also wrote the Under Siege film starring that man Steven Seagal.
What?
Yeah.
Fucking hell. That's a bit of a leap.
Very, isn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, just strange.
Yeah, weird, isn't it? Weird.
But yeah, what it was supposed to originally be, which found out the script, the initial pitch, if you might, was something totally different, called $3,000.
Well, the initial pitch for his story was a lot darker. The film involved a lot more drugs and more of seeing the world of prostitution and stuff in LA at that time. The script was initially called 300, but changed by Disney, who produced the film.
To Pretty Woman.
To Pretty Woman after the song.
They wanted a lighter tone. They you know what I mean? Disney, especially Disney in 1990, don't care whether it's done through Touchstone Pictures.
And Buena Vista, which is distributed by Buena Vista, which is an arm of Disney.
I don't care even if they're sort of once removed from it. They weren't releasing a film in 1990 about like hardcore fucking drugs and you know what I mean, the slums in prostitution. I think they liked the premise. A sort of.
So the original version, it was more of a case of she was doing it just for the money. And at the end of the film, and obviously the title's 3000, sounds like a sci-fi film.
Yeah, it does.
And she literally just takes the money and goes to Disneyland. That's the end of the film. Like, took me money, I've done my job, and there we go. That's it. Happy days.
That was
really weird. So you can see why there must have been the bones there of something interesting, but not obviously as dark.
And Disney wanted to make it a much more light-hearted thing,
which is what more commercial, which is, again, we've touched on it loads.
And well,
the kings of commerciality.
Look at the numbers. I don't think Disney would ever look at that and go, well, that was a mistake, wasn't it?
Yeah. Smart guys, we know this. So, moving on to the cast. So we've got Julia Roberts as Vivian, and she's obviously known as just a couple of films. Erin Brockovich, which she won the Oscar for, and that was in 2000, and then Notting Hill she was in, another kind of rom-com dramedy.
Like Julia Roberts in this, I mean, we'll
get onto that. I know what you're about to say, but we'll get onto
that.
So then we've got Richard Gere, who plays
Edward, the love interest, and Woof. That's just what I want to say for now. Woof.
Oh, right, we'll move on. We'll talk about Julia and Richard in those terms. And he was obviously in a big film in 1980 called American Gigolo, which kind of made his name. And he again, prostitution theme.
Yeah.
He plays a man whore.
Yeah.
He plays a man, he does. That's what he
yeah.
does. And also he's in Chicago,
Chicago, yeah, much later, but at the tail end of Richard Gere's popularity.
Yeah.
He was there. He reached for his popularity again, and the world went. Funny enough,
obviously Julia Roberts just went. She took off, massive star. Then all of a sudden, and he just kind of middled like he did.
Yeah,
just middling, fair to middling. Wasn't that Pretty Woman?
I think this is. It would be fair to say biggest role, like most remembered.
American Gigolo. That bang. That's made his name. That's how we.
No, it would have been them. But if you ask people now, what they'd get, Richard Gere, Pretty Woman.
True, yeah.
Immediately in Pretty Woman.
So another character in the film, an actor called Hector Alonso. He plays the manager of the hotel manager. Really good character actor.
Really good. I mean, he plays the same part in another one of his films.
American Gigolo.
Yeah,
more connections. Oh, I don't know. It's scary. And he was also in Beverly Hills Cop 3.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh. Cool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh.
A friend as well, her mate, Laura Giacomo. The only big thing she's been in is NCIS.
Yeah.
A very small part in this film, though.
Okay. Yeah.
She's
Kit.
Yeah. She's just a touch to her world, isn't she?
Yeah.
She's
she's there to make Vivian look good as well, because she's
druggy at the beginning of the film. We'll get onto that. And then the sleazy bastard lawyer played by Jason Alexander.
Stucky.
Oh.
Twat.
And he's in Seinfeld.
Yeah, he is, yeah.
Massive comedy star in Seinfeld for years.
He's about to get... Yeah, what's his name?
I can't remember.
Jason Alexander.
Yeah, Jason Alexander. Yeah. He's
a good comedic actor.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he is also in this, and, you know, there's stuff to say about him.
Well, yeah. So, again, we've kind of touched upon the original idea for the film, but the actual plot synopsis, basically it's a film about a down-on-the-luck prostitute. She meets a wealthy businessman. He hires her to escort her to, like, business functions and for company, basically.
Yeah.
And obviously, he kind of propositions to say, I'll give you $3,000 if you just spend the week with me. And, we'll do it, we'll go there, and you can just be like an escort, basically.
Yeah.
And obviously the relationship develops, obviously, spoilers, they fall in love.
Yeah, shocker. I don't think it's much of a star. Spoiler now.
True. But what would you class the film as? What genre would you put the film as?
Well, you always want to say rom-com, but I immediately withdraw from com part of it, because it has funny bits. It has some good lines. I've got
thoughts about the tone as well. You touched on that.
But a romantic comedic drama.
I've put romantic comedy / romantic drama, and it's
it's a dramedy.
No, it is.
Yeah.
I think if you was going to class it'd have to be.
I don't think it's got consistently laugh after laugh after laugh to say it's a rom-com where the comedy part is equal
in terms of today's rom-com.
No,
it's nowhere near. It's
at the time people called it a rom-com. Nearly every
people
contemporary review that I saw, they'd go, "Oh, it's a rom-com," and I think my immediate thoughts of the film are always, "It's a rom-com," but I sort of withdraw from that.
I totally agree. I'm of the same ilk on that, mate. I am on the same page. I definitely think rom-com, it's not a rom-com.
Yeah.
Again, but then is that a term? Again,
it's a light-hearted, romantic dramedy. But
yes. That's quite an accurate description.
But I recognise that's a little wordy to
True.
just say. So I'm not offended when people say it's a rom-com. Suppose. All right.
So moving on to themes.
Yeah.
Of the thing. As I've touched upon in private conversations, the film, for me, and it wasn't until a stranger coming and reviewing it for the show, like I said to you, let's do it because it'd be interesting. But like I said to you, I watched it maybe a couple of months ago, and I thought it's structured, and the plot line follows very similar to a modern day fairy tale. The structure of the film is a fairy tale.
And you know, it's not as if the film hides it.
It fucking
He says it. He says it. Who else is this story like? She says to her mate, Cinder fucking Rella.
But before that, when everything's winding down for them and they're outside, and he's chilling and she's like, right, well, you know, it's been nice and blah blah blah. She says, I just thought, and he's like, what do you want from this? And she's like, I just want more. And he's like, well, it's an impossible fairy tale. And she stood there referencing Be Night, Shining Armour.
Yeah, she wanted the
I'm
fairy
like, on
tale.
the nose.
You know what I mean? And right at the end, they even say, so what happens to the knight, to the woman when she is saved by a knight of shining armour, and she goes, I'll rescue you right back. You know what I mean?
But as well, like I say, going back to the actual structure of the thing, if you look at it right, it's this lowly pauper girl. Let's take the actual modernality out of it.
Yeah.
And let's talk about in terms of fairy tale. So you have the noble man, and the lowly peasant girl, right?
Yeah.
And then if you as I was watching it again to review for the show, even it's paced like a fairy tale in terms of they have a connection at the beginning and then they move on to they're finding a mutual respect for each other, and like there's a connection there even more. And then she's part of his world, and everyone she meets treats her like the lowly peasant girl. The people where she's staying with him, lowly peasant girl at the beginning. But then because she's got heart and she's beautiful and she's got heart, they all take her in, and then their perception of her changes. And then again, moving on to
Cinderella.
It's Cinderella.
It's Cinderella. The plot is nearly beat for beat Cinderella.
100%.
And by the way, I don't think they disguise that. They're not like... If you went to an executive at Disney, they'd probably openly say it's sort of like a modern remaking of Cinderella.
100%.
Quite happy with that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it very much is. This powerful business tycoon, which, let's be honest, in the world of the late 1980s, early 1990s, they were princes. Princes. You forget how, like, hyper, money. Like, the late 80s, early 90s were, especially in America and as well in Britain as well.
And isn't it weird how it's not making him happy?
Yeah, and that's why it's directly Cinderella. Yeah, he's a lonely prince. Exactly the prince in Cinderella.
Yeah.
Is you need to marry wife for the dynasty and he don't really want to. He wants to do that because he wants to have all the privileges of being immensely wealthy and royal, but he don't want to do it just because. That's exactly what he is. So yeah, I think it definitely is a fairy tale.
I definitely, it is like you say. Yeah, it's good that you've noticed it as well, like the structure of it and how it does follow the beats to a fairy tale.
Yeah,
you know, it goes up and there's peaks and there's troughs, and then they're getting together or they're not, and then it kind of but then they do it at the end. It's again.
Well, also, it's a very definite, like, clash of cultures story. Yeah, it's not about culture, it's about class, but it's very much that what it is, this rich person taking someone from totally the bottom end of the social spectrum at that time, and so she's taken to be our fish out of water here. And he's sort of showing her, he's educating her, because do you know what else this film is? It is almost an exact thematic remake of My Fair Lady. That's what it is.
Yes.
It even directly references it. It's in the film. The thing where they go to a polo match.
A polo scene,
taken directly from My Fair Lady. Yes, they go to a horse race, but they go to a horse-related event. Where they get to dress fancy.
I did know that.
And she's got to pretend to be fancier than she is.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And there's even, they directly reference it when someone does something good in polo. Fuck knows where to get. He hits he hit 3 polos. I don't know.
Yeah.
How would you play polo?
Something like that. I don't
Posh
know.
wanker sport,
Yeah.
innit? But anyway, where she goes woo, yeah, or whatever, and she don't know what she's wooing, and that's directly referencing a bit from My Fair Lady, where she gets caught up in it, and she goes, "Go on, move your bleeding ass," you know what I mean? And then remembers. Oh, I'm supposed to be a lady. Like, you know, he directly references that, and it's My Fair Lady.
Yeah, they do. And I think they probably have discussions at the time to go, oh.
I mean, I realise that most of our male listeners probably never watched My Fair Lady, but as you know, I mean, as a homosexual, it's on the curriculum.
You're a woman?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's on the curriculum. It's basically required watching. Like,
it's on the list.
At least some musicals.
I haven't seen it again, you know.
Well, no, you wouldn't have, but I'm just telling you, it is. That's why it is. It's My Fair Lady without the songs. I tell you what, do you want to watch My Fair Lady and do you want singing and, you know, revelry, or do you want to watch the exact same film without the singing but about a whore?
I'll take the latter, please.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm not good with musicals.
But exactly, that's what it is, though.
Right, yeah, I do, yeah. So, yeah, interesting. Interesting, very interesting. So, let's talk about things we liked, things we didn't, things that what we thought were very, very fucking questionable. Because there's a lot of things in this film. I'm not here to tear it a new arsehole. I'm just here to.
Well, here's the thing. I really enjoyed it. I did actually really enjoy myself, and I didn't think I would.
Why?
Because, you know, there's a point where a young bloke, I'm sure, always goes through a bit like, "Oh, I'm not watching that. It's a girl film."
Oh yeah,
like you know what I mean. And it stays with you even as an adult,
yeah.
and you think you want to be shitty about it. I thought like where you think, "Oh, bit fucking, oh, he falls in love with her, does he? Whatever."
I was of that opinion. Yeah,
you know what
100%.
I mean. And I just thought to myself, no, I'm rejecting that. I'm rejecting that side of myself. I'm going to go in it. I'm just going to watch it as if it were the first time, even though I know it won't.
Okay.
And I watched it for the first time, and do you know, I had a really good time. I had a surprisingly good time. I surprised myself by
Interesting.
that I didn't just get me fucking lads like, "Oh, I'm not fucking watching it."
Fuck off.
Fuck off. It don't work. I didn't find myself rolling my eyes as much as I thought I did.
Okay.
I found myself...
Oh, tittering.
Okay. And I think the big thing when we've got to talk about what did we like about it, Julia Roberts.
Mate.
For
one, right, okay, so, mate, in this film, fucking beautiful woman.
Oh, for one thing, yeah, she's absolutely
Stunning.
Stunning. Like, she glows. She has an aura about her throughout the whole film. She literally glows with beauty.
She's very good in it.
And also, yeah, her acting in it.
Yeah, she's very good.
Spot on. Charismatic at
Yeah.
You carry that film. There is so
she
much...
does. It's her. Yeah, it does.
She does carry the film, and she's got to be in our main character.
Yeah.
But she does carry. She's so properly good in it. She's got good comedic timing from when there is a gag.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She's got brilliant face work. I found myself...
Okay.
Because there's a lot of moments... Right, there's a lot of moments in this film where you just see... Maybe not a close-up, but you see her face and she pulls her face. You know what I mean? There's when they go for dinner with the...
for the deal,
the businessman.
That's the first meeting.
And I always remember, it stood out to me. She gets a leaf off of her, and she's not quite sure of it. And she puts it in her mouth to try it, and she goes, ugh. She pulls a grimace, and it's the best grimace because, I don't like it. You know what I mean? She's got really good facial acting, and I found that all the way through. Like, if she's feeling like, she fancies him, she wants to be with him now. She's got really good, intense sexiness about it. It's really good. She's really good.
She is tippy-toppy in that, mate. And do you know what? What's interesting, I think it's she's the right actress at the right time in the right film.
Oh yeah.
I think.
Because there were loads of bits where I just found myself laughing.
She'd done bits before.
Yeah. I know, but it is the thing that made her a star.
100%. She just kept getting...
It knocked her over that bankable star.
Yeah.
You can put her in anything, and she'd moneymaker, bankable
and
star.
And do you know what? It wasn't too long after that where she was the highest paid actress in the world, you know, and she was voted a record 5 times the most beautiful woman in the world by like some fucking magazine or some poll or some important bollocks.
Because there's loads of it that some of these scenes that she's in this film are literally iconic. Like there's one line that I really liked and it's stuck with me. You know where she goes to solicit him in the first place?
Oh, when he pulls over.
Yeah, when he pulls over, when he's nicked his mate's car.
Nicks it, yeah.
Yeah, well, forces him to lend it, and he doesn't know how to. Apparently, he doesn't know how to drive it, even though he's managed to get it all the way.
It's a manual, not
yeah, but he's managed to get it all the way. You know what I mean? And she turns up and he's like, "Oh, can you give me directions?" And she'd be like, "Yeah, it's a tenner." She don't say it's a tenner, but $10 or whatever. And he's like, "You can't charge me for directions." And she just goes, "I can do whatever I want, baby. I ain't lost." And I was like, "Oh!" I had a proper yes, Queen moment. I thought it was great line, great fucking line. And then she turns and provocatively just leans on his car, just there like that with the thing she's wearing, you know. And he's like, "Oh, go on then."
Brilliant.
I'll bite. Full of iconic scenes is that, and you know, let's not forget later in the film with the shopping.
Yes, there is more. There's more in terms of that. Yeah.
You know, where she goes to buy a load of stuff in from the posh people. You know, she goes to buy a dress. You know, when they treat her like she's. Oh my God! A dog turd has walked into this thing.
They're just twats,
frigid bitches.
Yeah, right. Yeah. No, they are twats with her.
Properly twats with her. I always think with that scene where the snotty bitches are thing with her, I'm shop, like, oh, you did well to walk out of there because I would have made a scene.
She just says, how much is that? They were like,
how much is that? You can't afford it.
Oh.
I'd have been there like with the wad of money. Oh, I'll take this off somewhere else then.
Yeah, you would.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'd also throw a hissy fit. Just the next mannequin I'd come to. Oops, just push it over.
Yeah, right over.
You know what I mean? Just as I leave. Oops.
Well, they are bitch, yeah. They are
but then later she gets to come back and she has you know, you wouldn't serve me yesterday. Huge mistake.
Yeah.
Huge.
That's a famous thing.
It's literally an iconic scene, that.
Yeah.
Huge mistake. Huge.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Julia Roberts, I think she...
Very good in it.
Very good.
Very good. She like you say, she carries the film really, really well. Really, really well. So, what other observations have you made then since you...
Richard Gere, got to talk about him
Go for
a sec, as a thing that I liked.
Silver Fox.
Woof. It's wow. He is... Now, when I was younger, I never used to think... Like, I knew I was gay, but I never really, looked at that and thought, oh, yeah, I fancy that. But as I've tipped beyond the ledge of 30, do you know what I mean? Woof. Yes, that's it. Oh, I see it. Greying a little around the temples and a whiff of grey hair. You know what I mean?
He is Silver Fox in that, mate.
Fox, mate. Yeah. Fox. I've got all day. I can see why when she pulled up to that limo. Right, we know he's rich. Well, not limo, Lotus.
Lotus, yeah.
And she goes there. You can tell she was almost thinking rich, good, and then she looks. Oh, good, he's fit too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Also, do you know? Talking on that point, it doesn't explicitly say how old they are. Now, I think, correct me if you have a differing opinion, I think she's supposed to be around 2021, and he's supposed to be in his late 30s.
Late 30s, early 40s, I always thought.
Possibly, or 40.
Yeah, maybe
Possibly.
just at his late 30s or his very early 40s, 40, 41.
Yeah.
Or he's got to be, but I would say probably 38, 39.
I would.
You know what I mean?
I
don't think it matters too much. Yeah. It's just it's hurtling towards him, his 40. The gate of 40 is like he's going to have to open it or fly through it. It's there. Well, you know what I mean? You're about the same, aren't you?
Yes.
You know what I mean? So,
Just as dashing, to be fair.
It's uncanny. True.
But yeah, he was a good-looking dude in this film.
Yeah, and quite good as well. I don't think his character's got enough to do in order to...
I think his storyline is the weakest part of the film.
Well, it's boring, let's be honest.
It's the weakest part, but what else would...
Well, he doesn't have to do it. You look at Cinderella. What does he do?
Yeah.
All the way through the thing. Fuck off! It's not about him. It's about her.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not about him.
Exactly.
He's the means to an end. He's our rich guy fantasy, but he's got problems, and you can fix him. But also, you know what I mean. He'll treat you right as well, and He's a bit of a fantasy, is Richard Gere.
Yeah.
But he's flawed as well. He's sort of like a flawed ideal man. He's an ideal man, especially for the time period, because the ideal man in a time period of film is, how should I say, rich. That's a film at the time. What do you want? What do you want? You're handsome for sure. Definitely rich as well.
Yeah, 2 in 1.
You know. But he's really good. He's really good in it.
I mean, as well, I think the character as well in the film. You know, he's not an happy guy, and you know, there's a certain type of redemption for him.
He's disillusioned in what he's doing. He's made a lot of money and he's had great success, but he's disillusioned in what he's doing because he's not bringing anything to the table. He just feels like a predator, and
he says that,
doesn't he? It's sort of, they expressly link their two professions as well. You know what I mean?
Money making.
Where it's money making, even says. Yeah. You know what I mean?
We both
screw people to make our money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's one reason why it's such a good romantic film, because there's a meeting of minds between them. Very much.
I think it plays that connection really well.
He does it really well. I can see
the build as well. The build's very sweet, and again, maybe for me, that is maybe I could probably use that as a good point and probably a negative or a bad point for me about the film.
Well, we'll come to that. There are things that are on my good list, on my list of where I've written here, things that I like.
Finally, decent notes.
I've also written the exact same thing. Or at least thinking about putting the same thing in things I dislike, because you can look at them either way.
That's interesting. That's why we're seeing the same thing, though. That's interesting.
You know what I mean?
It's got heart, but it's not. Is it too sickly heart, or is it not enough heart for it to be a bit genuine? Or would it happen in the real world? Would it fuck?
Well, no,
do you know what I mean?
Would it fuck? Would it absolutely fuck? But yeah. And like I've said, there are good moments throughout the film, but I've got to talk about between the two of them.
Yeah,
really great chemistry.
Oh yeah,
really good with each other, bounce off each other really well.
Yeah,
really well.
But again, we've said it's not. You know, I think you could recast them roles fairly liberally.
I think you can,
and you'd still have a decent film.
I can't imagine anyone else playing Julia Roberts, because she's made it so much her own. Julia Roberts' part.
But again,
I can definitely
that's
see
what's made it the film it is. I'm sure.
But
it would have just been an alright film.
You can quite easily, I would imagine, recast Richard Gere's part, and you wouldn't really have affected the film at all, because he accepts as a plot device, exists very lightly in the film. It's all about her. She carries the film, as far as I can see. But I kind of like that, because she does it really well.
Yeah. And do you know what else is really good, mate? The soundtrack.
It is, isn't it?
The score is hardly in the film. I must have heard about 3 or 4 cues all the way through. And it's on for 2 hours as well. Dead on, bang on 2 hours.
Yeah.
Again, you know, if I'm criticising it, I would say half an hour. I could cut half an hour out, bastard.
You say this about a lot of films.
I know.
Where, yeah. I suppose you could, but I don't remember ever sat there thinking, this is an unnecessary scene. Maybe if I were thinking of an unnecessary scene, it would be where... No, because they've got to make her over, aren't they? Where they go shopping, he takes her shopping, but no...
No, the film's changed. The film has evolved at that point. The film has evolved at that point. It's moved on from... It's like its third act-y on its way to being the third act, like, where it's... I'll tell you what else I enjoyed. Sorry to like kind of just move off topic a little bit, but the way at the first 15 minutes they introduce all the characters, and I thought I like that. I like that whole first 15-minute sequence.
Yeah.
I like that, and I think it sets it up really well. For me. So yeah. Anyway, the music. So it starts off Go West, King of Wishful Thinking, fucking tune. Obviously, Roy Orbison's Pretty Woman's in there, but not Roy Orbison's version. Again, iconic rock set.
Well, yeah, it's just really good, and you know, good.
Well, that's like another massive. You know, the everyone when you hear that song, it's from Pretty Woman.
Yeah.
Everyone's like that, aren't they?
Yeah.
As soon as you hear it, so I really enjoyed the actual tracks that they used. Not so much the score because it's very minimal in the film. But
yeah, overall, what I liked about it is that it was a light-hearted film that didn't take itself too seriously, but seriously enough that I liked it. I liked what they put together. I like the scenes. I like the banter between them. I even like the character of what he played, of Stucky. I don't like his character because he's a prick. He's a prick. Gold fucking plated, solid, polished, sleazy bastard. But I like Jason Alexander playing. He's good as a petty villain.
Yeah, he does play. Yeah, he plays it well. Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? I don't.
He's a knob him straight away. So
prick, and you know, prick from first scene. You're right. He's on good acting. Prick. Yeah. You know what I mean? Oh well, I got the wife to bring the caterer, and that opening scene, by the way, is where there's a lot of people talking at once. The dubbing's totally off. Totally off. There's this one bloke who leans towards Stucky and says something, I don't know, pointless, innocuous, it's throwaway line. Yeah. But totally different. What his mouth is saying is totally different from what the guy, and the guy noticed straight away, like, oh, that was shit. but
no, I definitely didn't notice that. But talking about, what about the tone? I think the tone is uneven because I think it sways from... I think there's threads of that original darker version.
There is, but one thing I do know is that Disney did want to keep elements of it.
Like, they mentioned drugs at the beginning and swerve it.
Yeah.
She's like, well, we can't pay the rent because you bought drugs.
We get a fucking PSA about it. You know what I mean? And I've written that scene on both bits. You know where she goes... Like, she tries to hide for some reason.
Dental floss.
Dental floss. What are you hiding your dental floss for? This shame. Do people fucking in Hollywood Boulevard throw rotten fruit at people who floss their teeth?
Why didn't she say
Why didn't she go and you're right, flossing my teeth? What's wrong with you? Why have you hidden that? And good hygiene is important. Thanks, Disney. Don't do drugs, kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She does it. Don't do drugs and brush your teeth. Cheers. Do you know what I mean? Weird scene. So it's almost like, oh, we want to discuss drugs.
Yeah, but swerve it.
We want to discuss drugs, but don't do drugs. Brush your teeth. Like, you know what I mean? I've got. See, you know, that's It's a good scene though. It's a nice little scene. It's a nice big moment where he panics. He thinks, "Oh, got druggy in me."
Yeah,
druggy in me house. No, well, not me house, me penthouse. Same. And she goes, "Oh no, fucking fuck off!" And she's like, "That's dental floss."
Yeah.
And you're like, weird scene. And so I put it on both. I like the scene, but it's weird.
This is what I'm saying. I think that the thing in terms of the tone, I think it kind of. Nothing feels forced in the film, but like you say, 1 minute they're being a bit sexy, and the next minute it's like, oh, there's like something where you can titter like you did, and then it goes down to like, trying to be a bit deep, and then it goes. Then 5 minutes later, it's another. Now she's going back shopping, and everything's fine, and like, well, actually, you know, let's get to the heart of the story. She's a fucking. She's a prostitute, and do you know what annoying? I think that annoying about it is right. And when they go to this polo match, and he's like, "Oh, she's a prostitute." She fucking is, and she gets pissy about it.
I know. We'll come to that, but like. Yeah, it's tonally weird film.
Very
but
up and down.
But I would say in my good list is very much my you know, the sex scenes or the erotic scene, the scenes leading up to where they're going to be doing something.
Glad you just brought this up.
They have good chemistry.
Yeah, they do.
They have really good chemistry. They're looking
looks great.
right at him.
Like you say, the chemistry's good.
Chemistry's really good. But then I've also found with both of them, both of the big erotic moments in it, they're good, but they're weird as well. I have a tonal problem with that as well.
And right,
but I still like them, so I've still got to talk about them.
Right. Like, so here's a question for you, mate. What I noticed in that, so for one, at what point? Because I've got a theory. Right. At what point do they actually have sex? Because listen, the first time when she's just in a kex and she comes on when he's like chilling on the chair and they're just watching shit. Right. For one, does she just suck him off, or do they have sex?
Well, I think it's implied that she starts by giving him the bit of a blowy, and then they go, because they're in bed when they wake up, so presumably they've.
I know, but then when it gets to the piano scene, is he going down or not, or have they had sex? Because it seems to me what the theme in the film is when it's the
actual scene itself that I always think is the weird part about it, though. Like when he's sat in the chair, for one, she goes up his leg, like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Weird. You'd be like, you've got a long way to go getting your arm all the way up.
Do you know what else I did notice about
and
when
she kept looking at the telly as well, but not in a like, that's funny, and I'll carry on like going towards. Turn telly off, or can you just focus on what you're doing,
please?
Like, you know what I mean? Oh, I'm sorry. Which are we doing here? So yeah, weird scenes, but really good because they're quite intense between the two of them.
But what I've noticed, every time they're implied, because I've got another theory, I don't think they actually have sex until the third time that they're intimate, when there's that montage and they falling in love, and because they end up, when she ends up kissing him.
Yeah.
But I think what else I noticed in the film is every time, and I don't know if you noticed this, mate, every time that they're supposedly intimate, it projects the next part of the story, and then they're implied.
Yeah,
did you notice that?
They move up through levels of intimacy. It's genuinely.
This is why I'm saying, did she just suck him off first of all, and then they're like, I don't want to shag you, but I enjoyed that, but then next time he's like, right, I'm going to please you on the piano, because that's a sexy scene.
The piano scene makes me laugh, because...
But I get where you're coming from with it's a bit weird.
It makes me laugh. She's come downstairs in a row to find him doing on whatever he plays on the piano.
Nice little bit of piano actually.
Yeah, nice little... But... There's loads of people, and they always look like staff on the break or whatever, and so
and he just
and he just goes, "Can we have the room?" No, No, I'm
having a bit of a sick.
I'm having my break. No,
They all just
no.
go, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. You want me to fuck off out of here so you can have your end away?
Yeah.
No. No,
I'm watching.
no. You've got a bedroom up there. You've got a bedroom.
You got a penthouse.
The penthouse.
Every room.
The
banger.
penthouse, and you're going to get on this piano.
Yeah.
Are you?
Don't
Yeah,
make a mess.
weird scene, and they'd be making that like, oh, his climax just as you hear
Yeah.
the thing. Oh, it's come. It's come. Yeah, weird scene.
Very.
But very intense between them. It's very romantic and just in very Disney. They want to touch on it but don't want to discuss it. The skirt's erotic.
But do you know what? For being a Disney film, you do get a bit of tick. Did you notice that?
Oh, the bit where they actually do it.
He
takes it, and I was like, there, nipple.
That's it. I was like,
yeah. I was there like, nipple.
Yeah, straight away, caught that, watching for it.
1 second, nipple. But yeah.
But do you know what I do like about Richard Gere's character in it? I think he portrays it. He doesn't treat her like a dickhead.
No. Well, he negotiates with her all the way through. He treats it weirdly.
That's where again
like
that
a
characterisation.
He treats her like a businesswoman.
Where they're meeting in the middle of it.
In a very, and I can see again why women, as they're looking for a female character to identify with. I can totally see that because he takes her seriously as well, no matter what she's doing. You know what I mean?
I think he doesn't treat her like one of the better parts of the film. Like he doesn't treat her like a dickhead.
Yeah,
and I mean, like
but
that.
when he does, because he is supposed to be a bit of a rich arsehole.
I think his emotions, because he knows that you can see it, that she's getting in.
Yeah,
she's working his away in slow, and like obviously when it gets to the part in the film where they're very close, they've been intimate on a number of occasions. The montage where they're just doing couplesy shit, acting like a couple, but then he turns around and goes, "Well, it's our last day today. See you later." And she's like, "I want more," and he's like, "No."
Well, no, he doesn't say no.
But
he does offer her more, but not what she's after.
But he's doing it like you know what it is as well. I think he quickly falls, because at the beginning of the film we get a bit of characterisation, and he's like, my ex-wife. He mentions his ex-wife, mentions his ex-girlfriend. She's packing up my all gear and she's got the gaff. My ex-wife's got me dog and this, that, and the other. And all them women, he's like, oh yeah. And even that bird comes up to him and she's like, yeah, man. And have you noticed that bird comes up to him at the beginning and goes, yeah, I'm engaged, but you get the impression like, yeah, but we're still smashing you. Yeah. I get that. And he's like, oh, congratulations. And she's like, yeah, but you don't fuck me as good as you. I just straight away when I seen that scene, I was like,
yeah.
And he's like one of them that is well known
she literally, her wedding ring, her face is basically saying, say word now, this is coming off, and talking about off in the bin, bang. She'd be off, end it, movie, credits. Like,
that's it, no film.
Yeah, Julia Roberts is still sat there on street corner, gets picked up by a guy with one eye and no teeth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Pretty Woman, she died.
Yeah.
Like,
she got the bad AIDS.
She was pretty. Yeah. But
yeah, again, I think I get that opinion because of the characterisation of the character and the interaction that they have, like you say, and that chemistry that they've got. He does, like you say, from the get-go, treats her as an equal. Not, do you know what I mean? Not like prostitute. Do you know what I mean? Like straight away, it's just like he's talking to her like she's not a dickhead. Yeah, in the car. Come on, show me where I'm going, and she's
fucking
banging as well, mate. So he's like,
she knows what she's doing. Yeah. She's really clever, and you know, can keep up with him. Is that he's surprised that he hasn't got to be more. Oh, I'll show you how to do things. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because with her, he's the one who don't know how to do things. Later on, he don't know how to tie a tie properly, and you know what I mean. And she does it. Yeah, and she does it for him while she's asking him questions. Just this growing intimacy between them.
And it does build that well. I think.
And she does like stuff like that. You know, just does his tie up, or it just explains to him that thing about the cars.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Women are better at this because we have littler feet because they're closer together. And do you know why I really like that? Her character comes across as the sort of person who I really like, who just like fun facts, who can just be like, you tell Julia Roberts something and that character, Vivian, where she'd go, is it?
Yeah.
One of those people, and I love people like that, you know, who just go, oh, is it? And then they'll tell someone else later. It's like she's heard it off someone, and you know, her family who race these things. Oh, women can do these better because you have littler feet because they're closer together. Fun fact. Cool.
Do you know another fun fact? Do you know when he gets those $250,000 jewellery for her and she's in the red dress and he's like, oh, look at that, and he slams the box on her hand and she starts giggling.
And she went, oh!
Totally improv.
You can sort of tell
Totally
because
improv.
you can sort of tell because
She didn't know he was going to do that.
No, but he's got a right nice smirk on his face, and he busts out laughing, and she does that, and she goes like that, startled, and then goes, oh!
Yeah,
like,
it's
really
improv,
and he's really cute. He's cute. They're cute.
Yeah.
Consistently, even when they get darker, you can. You do root for him, like even when they fall out. You root for both of them. See the other person's side.
Do you know what annoys me though?
See the other person's side.
And I think this is, for me, this is probably my final criticism of the film. Right, so when they have the argument after the polo thing, they come back and she's like, you treat me like I'm a foot, and he's like, well, no, I apologise, and he's like, I hurt you here and I didn't mean to, and I don't think he went out of his way to hurt her. And he's obviously very sorry, right? And they continue to see each other over the next couple of days. And even I think in that moment, he knows that I'm falling for this girl here straight away.
Yeah, he does.
There. But at the end, why let her fucking go?
Oh, but stupid plot bollocks.
Why let her go in the first place?
Yeah. They wanted for him to come and ride and save her on a literally a white steed. The limo is white.
I get it.
Like,
I get. I get thematically. That's how it has to play out.
So yeah, he comes across this
love, and then it's gone. Oh no, it's not. It is.
No, but the really good scenes, even that bit where because he's afraid of heights all the way through.
That's true. That's a character trait.
And he just peers over, and you're like, oh, he's facing his fears. What is he really afraid of? He were afraid of true intimacy with her.
Yeah.
And he goes to get her. And, oh, come on, it's good. It's got a good sweep of a romantic ending.
Do you not think the last 20 minutes are rushed, though?
Oh, yeah, they just want to get...
It just got bang, 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 and I'm like, it's 2 hours film. You could have got 30 minutes and got there.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's my final criticism of the film. I'm just like... Don't let her go, but I get it in terms of storytelling, in terms of there needs to be a peaks and troughs, and but it ends up all's well that ends well, and but mate, I'm like, oh
yeah, I mean, but there are things because I came out of this film feeling really quite positive about it, but then I thought there are things that bother me about it, and they're nothing in any of the scenes. I quite like quite a lot of the scenes, to be honest. What it is it's very of its time. The late 80s, early 90s. It came out very early 1990s. So what is presented to us is not the 1990s.
Yeah.
What is presented to us is the late 80s.
Yeah, the transition.
Right? And that time, its message is sort of like, find love and you'll find your one true person, and you might have to look in unexpected places. But its message is, it wouldn't hurt if you had a few quid as well. And it's so on the nose with it. You know what I mean? What does he love? The most important thing after her, it's money. You know what I mean?
Plus as well.
And
don't forget, I think
it is all about commercialism, and one thing that struck me, very clear product placement, very, very clear, and quite of early time-ish for... We're so used to product placement nowadays.
True. Yeah.
But that bit where they go shopping and they go Gucci, Armani, all the others, bang, just
Rodeo Drive.
Just literally, they've paid to have their name on this film. So you can go on Rodeo Drive and there's Gucci there and there's you know what I mean? And as well with the Lotus, where the car thing that we're very used to, it stood out clear as day to me. Oh, Lotus have paid banks to have this and get paid quite a bit towards it, haven't they? You know what I mean? Of that 40 million budget.
Yeah, they didn't even have to say what car it is, but they have a discussion about the car, don't they?
You know, and they expressly say it's this Lotus car. You know, and there is a bit where she tries to undo a bottle of Diet Coca-Cola and she literally turns it in her hand like that. It's not facing the camera,
she's like,
and she literally turns it. It's very subtly done, brilliant piece of... Because she's saying something else, but it's like, no, it's Diet Coke, relatively early in its thing. You know.
But, well, again, why not if you're going to get... You know, they might be busy,
I know, but
commercialised.
Yeah, it did... I did notice it, and with it being so much of its time, that part of Western history that really, really is obsessed with money, making money. No, but it's a
like you're saying, it has that theme.
Proper historical fact is that's one thing that society became much more consumer focused in the late 80s.
Talking about 90s. Consumer focused, I think this film for me probably created the template for romantic films, or are they going to get together, are they not going to get together film, you know, for want of a better description, because that's what they are, these films. It's the template for me, mate. Going forward after that,
tippy top of, if you watch a film like this, a romantic...
And because it made so much bank, then they thought this is the formula.
Yeah,
and that's why.
And they do try and follow it up. So it's a big part of film history for that genre. So what did you think about the film as a whole? Just
It was all right. But you know, we will summarise that when we do wrapping up the show, as we do review at the end of the show.
Yeah. Right. So as we've ambled onto the topic anyway, I think we probably now need to discuss its legacy, its influence on. Well, everything, film, genre.
Well, like I said there, you know, definitely for me, it has, or it did set the template for all those romantic films that came after. But not only that, I think what else for me iconic come out of the film is the black dress. The brown dress at the polo, the negligee at the piano, and the red dress when they go to the opera.
Yeah.
You know, you see that evolution. You know, she, like you say, My Fair Lady, she's moving up. She's classy. She can be classy, and she's not. Doesn't wear that little tiny mini skirt and the tiny top where like a midriff and all the sides are showing, and I think that's had a massive impact. Her fashion in that film, it's had a massive impact in fashion in general. Every woman's got a little bad dress. Every woman's got the classy, maybe not red, but a nice red dress. Or the very classy, the brown dress, which is like a lady.
Yeah, she's a lady.
She's a lady in the polo.
It is very nice dress that she goes. You know what I mean?
And I think it's well known.
You could see a girl. Now, she's going to races.
Mate, I swear to God, like every autumn you go in all these River Island Topshop and all that, you will see a brown, white polka dotted dress. I guarantee you. I guarantee you.
Yeah, very much so. And to get the media as well. That like just a romantic, whatever it is. they either sometimes directly reference Pretty Woman, or
this seems very similar.
You know, there's always even like the same director. A little bit later, he would do The Princess Diaries, which is like it's a little girl's Pretty Woman.
Is that what it is? I don't even know what the plot is.
You know what I mean? Well, she finds out she's a princess and she's taken like fish out of water to learn how to be a princess.
Thematic.
It's by same director, and the guy who plays the hotel manager. In this,
he's in them,
and he plays exactly the same character because he literally teaches her how to be a lady. Like, you know what I mean?
They're good scenes in the film.
They are good scenes.
When he's like, when she's like going to dinner, I need.
There's one really good. But you know the person that he rings to make her over, you know, in women's apparel, there's a really good line, and I've missed it. The first time I actually heard her say it, where she goes, you know, I'm not his niece, right? And she goes, they never are, dear. Yeah, she's how many dirty rich bastards have had their call girl come in? They never are, dear.
Yeah, funny. Good line.
Good line.
I did clock that line. So yeah, like you say, it's for me, it's had an impact on terms of romantic films after that, fashion, and also I think because it made so much money and was such a big film, I remember them talking about sequels, which never happened because, for one, fairy tales don't have sequels because it's a one and done.
Well, I mean, you can't tell the Disney Corporation that they'll bang them out until but. Yes, you're quite correct, but I'm really glad that they never made a sequel. What do you need a sequel for that for? It's done.
But
plot's done.
10 years later...
I don't want to see them 10 years later.
Runaway Bride, which is kind of like...
I suppose it's a spiritual successor.
But just because it's
spiritual successor. Well,
I don't even know what it's about. I've never seen it. Don't worry.
There's a bride, right? She runs off.
Mrs. Robinson style.
Yeah, she runs off.
And that's it. Right.
Runaway Bride.
Yeah, I
Runaway Bride.
Yeah. Funny.
What's the?
I didn't get that.
Yeah.
So yes, I was like, I feel.
What's the plot? What's the plot about Runaway Bride? There's a bride. She runs off, and he goes after her or something like that. I can't remember. It's not as good because I don't remember.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't remember. There's a bride. She runs off.
Exactly.
But it is a spiritual successor because they're trying to recapture that magic.
Exactly.
And that's probably why I don't remember it as much because, well, they had the magic. They had their magical fairy tale.
One and done first time. You can't repeat it.
And I'm so glad it's a one and done. We don't need another Pretty Woman. You don't need to see. What happened to them 10 years later? He's lost his luck. She's absolutely fucking miserable. And don't
need it.
No, he's going to have fallen out with his other people because, and she's going to have had a shit time convincing all of his fucking. I know he ain't got a dad or whatever, but his mum alive?
Recently he mentions that, don't he? He just mentioned that.
But what about his mum? I don't know. He's going to have to introduce, and she's not going to want to hide forever that she was a prostitute or whatever. Dick. You know what I mean? It's just
she does love the dick.
What was their marriage like? It was weird, and they had problems. You don't want to see that film. It ended nice. And they lived happily ever after.
Brilliant.
You don't want to see what continued on.
No. So, don't want to see it to continue, but what do you think of the film as a whole? What are your final thoughts on Pretty Woman?
My final thoughts on Pretty Woman, gosh.
I'll tell you what, do you want me to go first?
Yeah, you can go first.
Because I think you're going to be more articulate than me. So, I'm just going to go in there, bang, I'm going to give it a 6. A 6 out of 10. Not because I'm dogging it down, but I don't love it as much as other films I scored a 7, which is Goonies.
Yeah.
And Mrs. Doubtfire, purely because he gets that extra point to 7 over Pretty Woman, just because Robin Williams.
I get you. I absolutely get you.
But don't get me wrong, I've said a lot of positive things about the film.
Yeah.
And like you said with Goonies, I think Pretty Woman is one of those films where I'm like, I give it a really enthusiastic 6.
Yeah.
But am I asked about revisiting it? Not really. Have I got it in my collection? Well, I fucking have now, because I had to review it for the show.
Yeah, you have to get it for this, but here we are.
Again, it's okay, and I understand its impact in terms of films that came after it, and obviously Julia Roberts become a massive star, and I respect that, and it's a sweet little film. So I'm not, again, I think I've got more positive things to say than bad, but for me overall, because I don't love it as much as I do other things, a 6 for me. So, Mr. Mark, what was your rating and final thoughts?
My final thoughts on Pretty Woman are that I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I was going to enjoy it. I went into it very much thinking, I'm going to be rolling my eyes. I'm going to be because I haven't watched it for so long.
I get that.
And it's not my immediate sort of go-to film. You'll very quickly realise with us doing these things, if you give me a solid little adventure thing, there's a piece of treasure that someone's got to go get, you know what I mean? It could be in a tomb or something. Sold. I'm there. I'm on the film. And you've got at least a 6 in my opinion. Good
straight away.
Great straight film, right? But and this isn't in my go-to. Very rarely would I go there. I want this soft romantic feeling and get. You know what I mean? It does occasionally overtake me, but not very often. So I went into it thinking, I know I like the film because it's a good film, and they're really good in it. Yeah. So I went into it thinking, I'll give you a 6. I'm reckoning that I'll live with this at a 6. I reckon I will live with a 6. And when I came round to it, actually, no, I'll give you a 7. I will give you a 7 because it's not my thing. I've got like you said. Would you have it in your collection? Well, we do. But,
we do now.
But would I revisit it all the time? No, it's not. It's not. It's not that thing that films that make me go, oh yeah, I want to watch it.
Yeah. Again, but referring to like one of them Sunday afternoon films where you go, oh yeah.
It's a good Sunday. That's exactly what I was thinking. It were a good Sunday afternoon. Or it's on,
That's when I watched it a couple of months ago.
It's Sunday afternoon telly. Is it good? Yeah. Is it great? Not in my eyes, but I can perfectly well see why. If that's your thing, again, really good, and I respect it for being the tippy top of its genre. You think? I'm going to say rom-com again. It's not quite a rom-com, but you think rom-com. So many people will immediately think Pretty Woman.
Yeah.
It'll just be the first thing that their brain goes tick immediately. They'll might even see that poster of, in their mind's eye. Pretty Woman.
Pretty Woman.
And so I felt like me just going into it thinking, I know it's a good film, but I bet you I'll be rolling my eyes, give it a 6. I thought, no, I actually liked it more than that. I sincerely enjoyed it for what it was. And so
I did, and again, it's a film that has flaws, but I definitely understand the big appeal the film has and the longevity that it's had, and it will continue to be just as popular, I'm sure.
Timeless film.
I
would think, and like we mentioned in a very flippant way that it's big for the ladies, for the
massive.
For women.
So it is a chick flick,
It is a chick flick, and instead of denigrating that, it's something that's made to appeal to women.
Agreed.
And it does it so successfully, and far be it for me, a bloke, to be going, oh, actually, it's a bit of a shit film because that doesn't quite make... And doing fanboy bollocks, turning it on something that... I can see why that film means so much to you.
I totally agree. So, guys, on that note, we're going to wrap up the show. Just want to say thanks again for listening. Thanks for the support.
Appreciate it.
Again, like we say every time at this point in the show, please share. Please tell your friends. Please get it on the Instagrammings and the Facebooks.
Yeah, all the medias.
All the medias.
You know what I mean?
And thanks again, guys, for listening.
Yeah, and we appreciate it.
100%. Also, just to give you a little bit of an insight before we do say goodbye, Seeing as though it's Halloween next week, we are going to be doing a Halloween special.
We definitely are. Ooh. Well, you can't not, can you?
You can't not. So, guys, join us on our next episode next week, where we'll be reviewing a scary movie. Ooh,
a scary movie for Halloween.
A scary. What the fuck was that? Scary movie for Halloween. So, yeah, cheers for listening, guys. Take care, and we'll speak to you soon.
In a bit, Skip.